On the midterms, the countdown to the big day, just 5 days left.
And just in tonight, Angela Green, running as the Green Party candidate for Arizona's U.S. Senate seat, has dropped out of the race. She's also endorsing Kyrsten Sinema. We'll have more on this development in just a minute, but first, that's not the only race we're following.
Tonight, our own Faye Fredericks joins us live from the state capitol, looking at the races that will shape our state for years to come.
Yeah, Steve and Katie, we're following the national races and also the state races and the implications of Tuesday's election for all of us here in Arizona. We start tonight with the race for Arizona governor, and Republican incumbent Doug Ducey leading in the polls against his Democratic challenger David Garcia. For many candidates, party affiliation, though, does not guarantee a boost. Another major state race that we are following is Congressional District 8, CD8. Now, let me tell you where that area is. That's Sun City West, essentially, New River, Waddell, parts of Peoria. It's one of the largest districts in the valley. It's essentially a rematch between the incumbent and a challenger looking to flip the traditionally red region blue. ABC 15's Justin Pizzera is live for us with more on that race. Justin?
Yeah, good evening, Faye. You know, this is a really interesting race because on one side you have Debbie Lesko, who's been a state legislator for about 10 years. And then you have on the other side Hirul Tipireni, who is not a politician. In fact, she was an emergency room doctor for quite some time. But today, Tipireni got a big endorsement from the Arizona Republic. Republican Debbie Lesko and Democrat Hirul Tipireni, both hoping to be a congresswoman representing District 8, which takes up a good chunk of the West Valley, including, surprise, Sun City West, parts of Glendale and Goodyear. The population, more than 710,000 people. Both have been touting their endorsements, Lesko listing a string of endorsements from Governor Doug Ducey to music legend Pat Boone. Tipireni picking up endorsements from prominent Democratic senators in D.C. to Planned Parenthood. Today, she added the Arizona Republic to the list. Ernie Calderon has been working in Arizona politics for decades.
I was very, very surprised they did that. But secondly, I then thought, what does it matter? They endorsed Hillary Clinton. And that didn't work.
Today, Tipireni said that she's honored and humbled by the endorsement and says it reflects the campaign's grassroots strength. But putting political nods aside, she's up against some pretty challenging numbers. As of this afternoon, the Secretary of State's office is reporting 48% of early ballots returned for District 8 are Republican. About 27% are Democrat. 23% are independent.
Tipireni really isn't facing Deborah Lesko. That's not her opponent. Her opponent is Donald Trump. And that district has about a 10% Republican edge.
Back in 2016, President Trump won District 8 by nearly 21 points.
It is a very vibrant part of the valley, and you're seeing not only working blue-collar people live there, but you're seeing intellectuals, other people move into the area. It is sort of the future of Arizona.
And I did talk with Lesko's camp today, and they're really not putting too much stock in that Republic endorsement, saying that they believe that Lesko is a good fit for that district. They're also pointing back to those early voting numbers. Faye?
All right, Justin, we're going to talk a little more about CD8 in just a moment. We want to bring in Mike Noble from OH Predictive Insights. Mike, I'm going to ask you about that CD8 race. But first, I want to talk about the developing news from this afternoon. Green Party candidate Angela Green dropping out of the Senate race. So really that leaves Martha McSally and Kyrsten Sinema. Now, what does this do to this race?
I think it's an interesting headline. However, when you look at roughly about 2/3 of the likely voters have already voted. Plus, when you look at how many people are actually undecided in this race, depending which poll you look at, it's anywhere from 2 to 8%. So of those folks that are undecided, how much of impact that really makes, I don't think it's going to be as big of a movement. I still think she'll get at least 2%, if not 4 to 6% on the ballot at the end of the day.
Because the name's still on the ballot, because the ballot's out there.
Exactly, and 2/3 is already in the bank, plus most folks have already made up their mind.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about that CD8 race. How do you see this one shaping up?
So the CD8 race, an interesting one. So it was most competitive. It's a heavily Republican district. It hasn't been challenged in decades, but because of the special election due to Trent Franks' issues, he unfortunately, it was a lot closer. It was like 5 1/4 points. But now I think it's different with it's not the only game in town, so to speak. So I think what's going to be really tough is running into that red wall in the very older Republican Sun City. So I think that race it will probably end up Lesko by 8 or so.
Yeah. How about, what are the other really hot races that you're going to be watching, especially early on Tuesday night, that may indicate kind of a trend one way or the other?
Ooh, trend-wise, I think one's going to be interesting to watch is be the superintendent of public instruction, because when you look at top issues, education is definitely far more affiliated with Democrats compared to Republicans. And with that race, with about 12% undecideds in there and being very close between Riggs and Hoffman, I think it actually, that one will probably land up breaking towards the Democrats. So if you're looking for an upset, that's going to be one. But also that trend's going to be interesting with the education voters.
All right. I know we're going to see you on election night. So, Mike, thanks for joining us tonight. Mike Noble from OH Predictive Insights. Always fun talking to you, Mike.
Thank you so much for
very
having me.
much. All right. Don't forget, Election Day. It is coming up quickly, November 6th. If you did not mail in your ballot, you can still turn it in at any polling location, or you can wait to cast your ballot at several Valley voting locations to see where those are. You can always head to our website, abc15.com. And of course, the election isn't just about the big races, the ones that you see the commercials all over our air, certainly, and elsewhere. There are a lot of other races out there, and that they have a big impact here. A lot of those are the state legislative races. 90 seats up for grabs right now. Republicans control the state Senate and they control the state House. We will see if that continues on after Election Day. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah.